Good afternoon, everybody. And this is Milo, and we are back in Middle Earth. I had a kind of a malfunction late last night at the end of my stream, where it seemed to exit out before I had finished. So y'all missed a little bit of picking up the quest from elladan and elrohir, but it's pretty straightforward. You just pop on over to Penithgalen and then just talk to one of the guys there, and he gives you this quest that is called Brothers of the Queen, and that's where we're picking up today. So I traveled to IFL because the brothers are supposed to be here, so let's go take a look. I see the set quest focus still doesn't work, so we'll just hopefully the rings do. Here's elladan.
I tracked a party of corsairs to this hillside, and I think they are readying their response.
Let us face them and ensure the safety of EFL. Here they come, my friend. We must fight. That was all of them. The vineyard is safe once more. Okay, I guess I gotta ride to the other circle now to go talk to elrohir. Gonna try and make hopefully a large push tonight to see how far I can get. I'm trying to wrap these up so I can focus on some of my other projects. Now all of a sudden the this quest focus works.
I came here in search of corsairs, but I think they ran afoul of another foe.
Be ready for anything. I thought so. There are goblins all around us. Very good, my friend. That was well fought. Talk to Elladan and Ost-Under. I'm just gonna map.
My brother and I remained behind, for we believed the folk of the Green Hills might still be endangered.
Grief can render incapable even the stoutest of hearts. That is true even of the elves. I will be pleased to join your crew, Miloa. I have little love for ships, but for adventure I have a great fondness. Speak to my brother and see if he is of the same mind.
I went in search of corsairs and found goblins instead.
Will it be the same on our voyage to Umbar? Who knows what unexpected adventures will await us there. I have never been on to that land, and I am filled with excitement at the prospect of seeing it for myself. I will be pleased to join the crew of the Wave Hunter, my friend. We will be there when the time comes to depart. Elladan and elrohir, brothers of the Queen, have joined your crew. So looking at my crew manifest here, the only one that I have left that Cadence suggests that I haven't done yet is Nauriel. And we're gonna go do that one next, and then we should be ready to ship off. And she's probably going to be and up here in the keep. Nope, nope, this way. That's right. There she is.
Every day that passes brings my son further into danger.
Knight of the Green Hills. There must be no more delay. I will join the crew of the Wave Hunter, so I may ask the Kindred of the Coins to return Thorongil. But I will ask only once. If they refuse, I will bloody my sword and dent my shield on their carcasses. They have remained unused for too long anyway. My husband, Carandolian, always speaks of the need for patience and for thinking things through. But see where that has gotten us? Our son stolen away by enemies of Gondor. Well, they have made an enemy of Nauriel, and she does not forgive as readily as Gondor. Recruit the crew you think we will need for the voyage, Miloa. But remember the need I have for haste. Will you retrieve my sword and shield from the armory on the lower level? I have had the sword sharpened and the shield reinforced since the Corsairs raided Tumrost. They should now be ready for me. Yes, my lady. I can go grab your sword for you. I can find my way down there. Do not have permission to use that. Okay. Here we go. Downstairs. There's the sword, and there's the shield. Might I speak with you for a moment?
I am no fighter. My wife has always been the firebrand.
And she has a temper enough for the both of us. But she matches it, nay, she exceeds it with her martial skill. There are none more deadly in all the Green Hills with a blade than she. I'm unlike my brother, you know. Dwan here rode to Minas Tirith with trumpets and banners, and when he came back he did so without his sons, for they were of fighting age. My Thorongil was not, but he has been taken away all the same, and I must rely upon my dangerous wife to retrieve him. Do I risk losing them both? These are the thoughts that keep me awake at night, Miloa. I will remain here to oversee Penithgillen while Nauriel is away, but my thoughts will sail alongside her as she rides the waves to Umbar. I will give her a favor to carry into battle, so she knows her husband's heart goes with her.
Thank you for bringing me my equipment, and for speaking with my husband.
I will carry his favor into battle on behalf of our son Thorongil, should battle prove necessary. My husband would be the first to tell you he is no fighter, but I love him all the more for it. I do our fighting for us, and without regret. Carandolian will see that Penithgillen does not suffer in my absence, and when I return, I will return with our son, and only his father will celebrate more loudly and happily than I. I will await your command and the rest of your crew at the Wave Hunter. Alright. Talk to Kaibar in the library. We've pretty much finished recruiting everyone. Unless Kaibar has even more people we need to recruit. Isn't that where the library was? I guess we'll go the other way. Oh no. Talk to Khyber in the library of Elon Chiron. Okay. Got confused for a minute there.
We must strive to defend our newly gained peace.
Have you assembled a crew for the Wave Hunter?
You tell Kyber about the crew you have recruited for the mission to Umbar, and he nods. They sound quite capable, Miloa. I think you have done very well, and I am glad to have been of service. I suppose it is nearly time for us to depart.
The rest of your crew must have arrived at the Wave Hunter by now.
Making ready to depart. The rest of your crew must have arrived at the Wave Hunter by now, and they surely wait for you to join them. Yes, I am coming too. I hope that the brave men and women you have recruited will have courage enough to spare some for me, for the specter of this voyage fills me with trepidation. I will be fine, Miloa. I have to be. Lead on. Alright. Let's go to our ship.
Have you come to help? Good.
Nauriel and the others of the crew prepare to depart.
The sailors were up before dawn, but that was still not enough.
The sailors were up before dawn, making the ship ready to sail, but it seems that was still not enough. When will be the last of these unending delays? My son is still in the hands of the kindred of the coins, and must be rescued with all speed. My husband will see to the safety of Penethgalen while I am away, but as you are the one King Elessar has chosen for this mission, you will be responsible for the lives of all those aboard the Wave Hunter, Miloa. I care not for my own life, I care only for that of my son. Bring me to his captors, and I will do what is necessary. I'm just gonna put on a quick sweater here. The temperature has dropped outside considerably, so 1 minute. Okay, let's carry on. Here's Sigileth.
It seems we are once again to be the hidden guard.
Journeying in secret to rescue a captive. Nay, for this time the captives number 2, and one of them is my own brother. Let it be a consolation to us that the place we must go can shelter no evil as great as that which lurked within the walls of Dol Guldur. I do wish I had my knives for this mission. Lenchigil and Egnesigil would have make short work of the kindred of the coins, although I understand the lesser is hopeful we can return Thorongil and Corodan without bloodshed. I think that is unlikely. I have been training with this blade, just in case. I have not given it a name.
I rose with the dawn and helped the sailors prepare the wave hunter for its voyage.
Thank you once again, and a million times more, for allowing me to sail with you, my friend. I feel alive again, and the feel of the deck beneath my feet has given back to me the vigor of my youth. To the sea! To sea, at last!
Are you ready to give the order? None but you can give it.
Voyage of the Wave Hunter. It is time to leave your familiar shores behind.
Very well, my friend. Ready the sails!
It is time for the Wave Hunter to ride the river down to the sea, and then to make for the city of the Corsairs.
And so the voyage of the wave hunter begins. Umbar awaits.
I know I suggested that you recruit the Corsair Jajax for the crew, and he refused the offer, but I was under the impression that his brother Daxamat would be a little less, I don't know, a little less wild, perhaps? But he is clambering all over the Wave Hunter, as if he has not a care in the world, and without the slightest thought that he might fall from these perches, each more perilous than the last. Will you beckon for him to come down? He is making me nervous.
There is nothing to fear. This is not my first time aship. Tell the young scribe to come up here.
Whoa. I do not feel so well.
Ah, he will get used to the motion in time.
I have not felt this youthful in years. Of course, our course leads down the Langardwine to the Bay of Belfast, and then we will truly be on our way. Like young Khybar, not all of the Wave Hunter's crew have been at sea. I suggest that you speak with the folk you recruited, and learn how the river passage treats them. The waters in the bay will be more unruly than this, and if the rockings in Lagardwine disturbs them, it may be helpful to know, and guard against further upset. I understand the dwarf Gimli has in his possession a remedy for seasickness. He may need to share it, with Khyber at least, and perhaps with others. This ship is huge. Elladan. I've never been to Umbar, Miloa, and neither has my brother, unless he has somehow managed to escape my notice and had some adventure about which he has told me nothing. But I find that unlikely. I wonder if elves live among the sea folk that call Umbar their home. I will have to put this question to the corsair daxamat sometime in the next few days. It could be he has seen elves in the city or along the cape during his time there, before the kindred came to power. The one who abducted my son Thorngil, this Nakasi wave reaper, you said you know who she is? You tell Nauriel of the stellar encounter between Nakasi and the heirs of Castamere that resulted in the death of her husband Tumuldo. Nauriel stares at you with narrowed eyes. She will have no sympathy from me. Bad things happen. If she does not return my son to me unharmed, I will send her to see her husband at once. I may do this anyway. Let her and her masters beware. A knight of the Green Hills does not grant mercy without good reason, and the mother of an endangered child never does. I've been thinking about something, my friend. So much good stone is covered by rivers, and by lakes, and by the sea as well, I imagine. What precious gemstones lie hidden down there out of our reach? Is that the secret of Temamir? Do the arid lands of their birth yield such valuables to them more easily than ours? And yet, they still need water to drink. I look forward to learning how it is done when we arrive in Umbar. The gemstone worn by Kultek, the cunning, is an intriguing mystery, but is one I intend to solve. Oh, excuse me, Miloa. I did not mean to be rude. I was contemplating the bridge over the Lac Gardouin, such an impressive feat of stonework. The city of the Corsairs has been many things over the years, but for some of that time it was the sea haven of Numenor. There must be architectural wonders there too, and I am eager to see them. My wife Bruidis cares less for such things. Where is she now? She has gone below decks, intending to assess our stock of supplies. I told her the voyage itself should not take more than a few days, but still, she wanted to ensure we have enough food and water enough. I told you before, did I not? I'm a swan knight, and my martial skill is well developed, but my wife Brutus is the strategist of the family. If there is thinking to be done, she is the one to do it. This blade has to earn its name, Miloa. I cannot give it a name that might prove to be the wrong one. Weapons are like children, or so I have heard it said. The elves of Lorien called my brother Corodan, the river walker, for he was often away from home, exploring the lands up and down the Anduin. Will this adventure now make him the sea strider, or the bay rider? I will have to tell him this when we rescue him. He will laugh to hear it, once he is safe. Qualang the Limlin hops excitedly up and down, occasionally cracking the shell of the snail he has caught on the railing of the Wave Hunter. He seems very happy to be sailing with Sirgon again. Oh, we actually get to go below decks? This is a first. How fares my husband, Rossaran? No doubt he gawks at the scenery through which the ship passes. Oh, he is a dear man. 2 things he loves besides me, Miloa: faithfully serving his king, and marveling at the great feats performed by the prospectors and stonemasons of Gondor. Sometimes I wonder if he should have been born a dwarf. But I have been checking our store of food and water, and it seems that we should have enough for the voyage to Umbar and back. The Wave Hunter is well prepared for the journey. I confess to you that it is our arrival at the city of the Corsairs that now most concerns me. I've not yet needed the sickness remedy you and Legolas procured for me, Miloa, but all the same, I believe I will stay below decks for now. Do you think I should share it with Kaibar? I will have it ready if he asks me for it, but I do not want to give it all away, just in case. We are not yet out in the bay after all. Legolas says he expects the rocking of the ship to become more pronounced when we leave the river behind us. I have given some thought to our voyage, Miloa. I believe the city of the Corsairs must remain a bustling port city, despite the defeat of Balakor the Scourge, and the heirs of Castamir during the War of the Ring. Do you think the arrival of the Wave Hunter can go unnoticed when we draw near the port? I cannot decide if it is more or less suspicious of us to arrive by night. Perhaps some of Galasgil's sailors will give me their opinion. This ship is unlike those of our people, Miloa. No, I do not intend that to be an insult. Even a ship made of rough-hewn timber is still to be prized if it stays afloat and keeps you from a watery grave. I think it is simply the way of the men of Gondor to value the use of a thing higher than the beauty of its form. What's that? Oh, nothing. I'm just thinking. What goods do you think the people of Umbar might value? If I were to establish a market alongside the docks of the city, what things would fetch the highest price? Will items from Gondor be considered valuable or worthless, Miloa? I cannot decide. At least I will have a few days to think it over. I am all right now, Miloa. It was simply the sight of daxamat clambering out over the railing of the ship that made me feel queasy. I think I will remain below decks for the rest of the voyage, unless you need me above. I cannot imagine you will. The sailors of Anfala seem very capable.
In time, even young Kaibar became used to the gentle rocking of the ship as the Wave Hunter sailed out into the bay.
Thank you for keeping me company, Miloa, but I will not ask you to remain below decks for the whole voyage. Feel free to go above and take in the fresh air. Some members of the crew are docking and enjoying the breeze of the sea. The voyage is well underway, and now our thoughts turn to our arrival at the city of the Corsairs. What will we do if the kindred of the coin greets us at the dock, Maloa? I said we would once again become the hidden guard, but there is very little that will be hidden about our mission if our foes see us arrive from atop the walls. Or from the watchtowers of Umbar.
Most of us have never been to the city of the Corsairs. We need someone who has been there to teach us what to expect.
I expect treachery. I expect villainy. The kindred of the coins will pay for taking my son. And for abducting my brother as well.
The city has changed since the kindred came to power. Perhaps for the better. Perhaps for the worse. But I can try and tell you some things that may help.
I'm not much of a teacher. My brother Jajax is the talker in the family, but I hope to help you. What do you want to know? History of Umbar. It was never really one for study, but I will tell you what I know. The name Umbar comes from the word Umbramara, the fruitful land, but its position on the southern side of the bay means it was greatly desired by many, and often changed hands. It was a colony of Numenor. It was the southernmost port city of Gondor, and it was briefly held by the kingdom of Hamat, which ruled in near Harad, before the great empire of Ordak came up from the south and conquered both. Much of that is ancient history. If my brother Jajax was here, he would tell you that Umbar came into its own when the city became the city of the Corsairs, and its children preyed upon any fat vessel that dared traverse the waters of the bay, bearing jewels, wine, gold, or silver. He would tell you, too, that the rich merchants and rulers of the city would take their portion of the Corsairs' plunder, and the wealth would pool in the coffers of those who already had plenty. He would speak at length about this. After the war, Umbar is now ruled by a fellowship, calling itself the Kindred of the Coins. I have told you what my brother and I learned about them, little as that may be, but you have assembled a mighty crew, and I trust you will be able to deal with them. I hope so. When the great southern empire of Ordak dominated Umbar, the conquerors brought their religion with them. The Ordikim worshipped a mysterious figure they called He Who Sees All. And it is clear now that this must have been the Dark Lord Sauron. During this time, the Corsairs were directed to prey more and more upon Gondor. Years ago, in response, a great hero of Gondor attacked the city. But while it may have slowed the attacks upon Gondor's coastline for a time, it also stoked the flames of hostility. When the war arose, black Numenorians calling themselves the heirs of Castamere were quick to heed the commands of Sauron. I blush to admit that I served the heirs of Castamere, as you know. I wanted nothing to do with the Dark Lord or with aiding terrible forces of evil. I just wanted someone to tell me what to do. Many of the Umbara may be the same. I understand the temple of Sauron, that was once called Makda Korbo, has fallen into ruin and is now called Makda Dahak. What is the difference? Oh, well, let me see. It is basically like changing "This is the place of the all-seeing one" to be "This place is the place of lies." That is not something the Dark Lord would allow, surely. So I think it means he is well and truly gone. He is. Outsiders may call it Umbar, but the true name of the city is Umbar Barabel, the City of Sails. It was first built long ago, where the river Imakash flows out of the Haradwaith and into the firth of Daklajana, opening onto the Bay of Belfalas. It has always been an ideal trade haven, for it stands between the realm of Gondor to the north and the desert kingdoms of the south. The city itself is divided into 7 wards, with 2 additional outer wards beyond its walls. The Citadel of Winds, perched atop a rocky island only accessible by a fortified bridge. The Fleetfast, oldest part of the city, an ancient fortress and artificial military harbor, constructed around a high promontory on the western side of the city. The Stuna, in its center, is a man-made island built thousands of years ago by the Númenóreans, but repaired in recent days by the Umbara. The Sail Haven, a perfect natural harbor, protected by stout walls and a chained sea gate. It is always busy here, bustling with traders and fishermen. Being at sea level, it is the lowest of all the wards, but also among the most important. The upper and lower wards, where live the residents of Umbar Barabel. Folk like my brother and me lived in the lower of the two, and the wealthier denizens live higher up. I understand the revolt that resulted in the installation of the Kindred of the Coins, and the expulsion of the heirs of Castamere began in the lower ward. My brother thought that was, what did he say? To be expected. That was it. The Tour Gardens, a sanctuary for learning, music, and art. I never spent any time in the Tour Gardens. The Shoreward Stone, occupied not by men but by dwarves. Not many are allowed inside. Outside the 7 wards of the city and beyond the walls, tents and trade caravans fill the surrounds, where outsiders gather before entering the city. This area is dangerous, disorderly, and frequently violent. My brother and I often got up to mischief out here. Very entertaining. I see. You will hear many languages in the streets and alleys of Umbar Barabel, such as the Ordokai of this great southern empire, and the Temik, spoken by the dwarves who emerged from the shoreward stone. But the most common is Umbari. Most residents name themselves in Umbari, and refer to places and things by their Umbari names. For example, the Bay of Belfalas is Abamatu. Corsairs are Garadi. The Shield Isles that lie to the northwest of Umbar are called Zera Tarka, and the dangerous rocks that lie about them are Shedek's kin, the Grinding Jaws. We will be avoiding those, I hope. I never had any call to read, but my brother tells me that writing in Umbari is done from right to left, and vowels are a fairly recent invention. If I had spent any time in the Tour Gardens, perhaps this would mean something to me. Perhaps. Umbar's military force must be in a state of upheaval after Be'lakor's defeat, and the revolution in which the heirs of Castamere were overthrown. I do know there was a small standing of army of Haradrim warriors that were maintained by the Empire of Ordek, but most of them sailed to the war and were lost at Pelargir. When I was young, most soldiers of Umbar were footmen, and only captains rode horses into battle. They wielded spears, maces, and swords, and carried bows of horn and wood. I do not know if that is still true. Their true power, of course, is at sea, with both oared and sailed drummonds called jassa in Umbari. Something else I remember from childhood that must surely still be true. Umbar possessed a strong tradition of gladiatorial combat. Successful gladiators, called hulus, numbered among the wealthiest and most prestigious folk in the city. Combat was not usually to the death, although accidents did happen from time to time. Umbar is not a place of lawlessness, despite what is said in Gondor. In fact, Umbari law is mostly similar to that of Gondor, since both were established by the Númenóreans. The Church of Sauron suspended many of the traditional laws, but now that the temple is ruined, I think the judges, like Malef, seek to restore the Umbari Codex of Laws, the Kiteb. Oh, there is one big difference between the laws of Gondor and Umbar. In Umbar, a criminal can ask to be sent to the arena for a trial by combat, where they must fight a number of bouts as a hulas. The number is determined by the judgment of their malef. It is different from when you are a ship, of course. The only malef on a corsair ship is the ship's captain, who makes all the rules and carries out all the punishments. Okay, I think we have learned all we could. Let's go find K-Bar. Thanks for checking in on me, Miloa. You say the Corsair Daxamat spoke about what we can expect when we reach Umbar? I should have liked to hear that. Assuming it was good news. You tell Kyber what you learned, and he nods. A little good and a little bad, then. It sounds to me as if we have our work cut out for us when we arrive. At least the sailing has been easy. I expected worse.
But every sailor knows this truth. The temper of the sea is changeable.
It's raining inside. The storm rages and the seas are wild. We have to take down the sails, or the wind will tear our masts to splinters. The sailors and the elves have gone above, but I cannot tell if they are still alive. The storm rages. The sails have been taken down, but we are not yet safe. There is a presence in the wind, and it seeks to batter our ship beneath the waves.
This is no natural storm!
We're too near the rocks! Everyone, hold on to something!
Oops. Find the wave hunter.
You're alive. Thank the Valar. That unnatural storm has brought the voyage of the Wave Hunter to an early end. We have run aground upon the Shield Isles. Let us wait for the rain to stop, and then we will decide upon our next move.
We are lucky to be alive.
The storms that arise in the Bay of Belfalas can be fearsome, and these isles are often lashed by the worst of them. Ours is not the first ship to run aground on these isles, and I cannot believe it will be the last. I have been to one of the southernmost islands in this chain before. Zamasur it was called. My brother and I sheltered for a time among the freebooters who lived there, but Jajex did not want to stay, and I could not remain myself. We were very young then, only children. It must have changed in the years since. But our arrival has attracted some attention. Look among the trees. These isles are not deserted, Miloa, and the men who live here may seek to do us harm. The Shield Isles.
The storm chewed up your ship and spat you out, stranger.
But it must not have liked the taste of you. Most of the ships devoured by Shedek's kin arrive upon the Shield Isle in more pieces than this, and with fewer survivors. Shedek's kin? That is the Umbari word for the rocks that surround the island of Bakjat. It means the grinding jaws. And theirs is the smile that welcomes strangers to these isles. But someone else must smile upon you and upon your crew, for while your ship will not sail again, you have your life, and that is more than some retain when they come here.
There will be little for us to salvage today.
Mutton and I listened to the driving rain of the storm last night, and it told the two of us a new wreck would decorate the island this morn. We arose early, before any others, and came here in haste, but we were rewarded with disappointment. The isles have their new decoration, aye, but the grinding jaws did not finish their meal, and too many survivors guarded the wreck. There will be little for us to salvage today, but I tell you this, life in the Shield Isle is hard, and not all who arrive here, as you have, can endure it. You survived the storm, but will you survive the week? Will you survive the day? Oh, it is no threat, stranger. I am simply making conversation.
I knew I did not like sailing. How can it be that Sirgon missed it?
A sailing ship is a hateful thing, an unpleasant creation as I've ever known. You remind Khyber that were it not for the strong hull of the Wave Hunter and its brave crew, we would not have survived the storm. Khyber shakes his head. Yes, yes, he mumbles. I suppose it could always be worse, but I am done with ships. You mark my words, Miloa. From this day forward, I will take the land road, no matter how out of the way it may run.
Some of the crew have already gone to scout the neighboring isles.
The Shield Isles. Waiting for the rain to end was a burden for some of the crew, and of that number, many of them have already gone to scout the neighboring isles. Nauriel declared she could not wait, and pressed through the trees to the south, and I saw Sigileth wading through the waves to the southeast of here in search of I know not what. Does she think the ship carrying her brother to Umbar ran afoul of the rocks as we did? As for Gimli and Legolas, I heard the elf calling for Gimli to follow him to the southeast in search of game animals, but I do not know how far they might have traveled. I think they have gone as far as Zamerzur. The rest of the crew may be scattered across any of the Shield Isle, Miloa. We need them to return so we can decide what to do next.
Many of the sailors who crewed the Wave Hunter sustained injuries during the storm.
Bruidis and rossaran. Brutus wants to prepare a salve that will help make them more comfortable while they recover. She has set me to fish, for apparently this salve has need of fish scales, but there are other ingredients to be gathered. Speak to her and she will tell you what else she needs, if you are of a mind to help. Ooh, task board. Nice. What items will we be collecting? Petite axe. Let's see. Where is my bag? Alright, I got plenty of petite axe. Okay, daily limit reached.
Unknown caller.
I'm looking for Brutus. There she is, up there.
Rossaran has enlisted you to help me gather the ingredients I need to brew the salve?
He is a good man, my husband. But you would have offered to help me anyways, would you not? I think I am a good judge of character. Not just of husbands, but of friends as well. This salve requires herbs, tough enough to grow on the nearby beach. Flowers nourished by the damp air blanketing this isle. And several pieces of tree bark, which you should be able to take from a large great tree I saw to the west. Bring these ingredients back to me and I will tell you about the next steps. Duckmaster.
Hoy! You found the things I need.
I am very pleased to hear it, Miloa. Now, you need to steep each of the ingredients in the tub of water I have prepared to the southeast. The herbs the longest, followed by the flowers, and finally the tree bark. So, herbs, flowers, tree bark. After you have added each of these things to the water, speak to Rossaran and obtain as many fish scales as he can give you, and add those to the tub last of all. She said southeast. Adding ingredients. The herbs sink into the water. Now what? Herbs next is flowers. The wildflowers vanish beneath the surface of the water, but nothing changes. Let's add the tree bark. The tree bark sinks to the bottom, but nothing obvious changes. Okay, let's go talk to Rossaran. Get the fish scales.
Your timing is just about perfect.
For I have finished scaling the fish I caught. Here you go. What next? You need to add the scales to the water tub? Go on then. The fish scales join everything else in the tub. Is the salve complete?
All done? Very good. And thank you.
The salve will take a while to steep, but once it is prepared, I will have Rossaran bring it around to the injured sailors. You have done more than enough, and we appreciate every bit of it. But do not let me distract you any further. There is surely work to be done elsewhere on the Shield Isles, and I know the Lady Nauriel wants nothing to delay the rescue of her son from the kindred of the coins. But I know a thing or two about such things, and we will want the members of the crew to be as rested and comfortable as they can be when the time comes to mount the rescue. Injured men fight poorly, no matter how brave they may be when hail and during peacetime. Thank you once again, Miloa. We will not forget that you helped us, all of us. Hey guys, I'm going to take a bit of the break, just stretching my legs. I will be back in a minute or two. let's carry on.
Tell me what I can do to help.
The corsair daxamat. I should have tried to keep the crew from scattering across the isles, but I did not think to say anything until it was too late. You asked Daxamat what he believes can be done now to ensure that the loss of the wave hunter does not spell the failure of your mission, and he scratches his chin. Many of our supplies fell overboard when the wave hunter ran aground, he mumbles. Perhaps we should recover what we can? You agree with the Corsair's assessment, and encourage him to help you recover the lost supplies. Yes, one step at a time. I can manage that. Thank you, Miloa. We will retrieve the supplies we can. Some of them may be floating just offshore, but others may have fetched up along the coast of the nearby isles. Trying to get the floating barrels first. Then I can just run along the shore on the way back. I love the waves over there. Look at how that wave is coming in. Okay, I guess I gotta come this way now. I like the color of the water here. It's teal color. It's really nice. Ugh, that's on the other side.
This is a good start, is it not?
I will bring the supplies we recovered inside the Wave Hunter to protect them from the wind and the rain. We will be glad to have them if we must remain on the Shield Isles for some days, and the weather here is changeable. I told you that Jajax and I grew up on the Isle of Zamarzur, to the southeast among the freebooters. There was a settlement there called Halrax, home to thieves and cutpurses, and it could be violent at times, but it was home. I might have stayed there forever and known nothing of the Waller world, but when Jajax decided to leave, I went with him, and did not look back. I wish my brother were here. I wonder what he is up to now. Ah, Never mind, Miloa. I have to bring these supplies inside. There will be time for thinking later on. I do not doubt it. Right now is the time for survival. Woohoo! 146. Nice.
Do not look so crestfallen, my friend. You must see that the Valar smile upon us.
Sirgon the Explorer. We have our lives, after all, and the successful conclusion of your mission still lies ahead. This is not an ending, but a beginning. I've lost friends to the rocks that guard the Shield Isle, it is true. But today the strong hull of the Wave Hunter and the resilience of his crew has delivered us here safely. Rejoice for that, and celebrate the good fortune and the blessing of the powers that aided in its accomplishment. I have not set foot upon the island chain in many years, but it will take me only a moment to refamiliarize myself with them. If you will go to several locations and look, your report may help me remember the geography of these islands. Perhaps you can start at the beach across the lagoon to the south, a beach to the northwest of the Wave Hunter, and the beach on the western side of the isle. Okay. Fortunately, it looks like my horse made it over the ocean as well. There's drakes up ahead. Sounds of fighting and revelry drift over the trees from the south. The settlement. Find the western beach. Oh, I turned around too soon. Kirkrim's again.
What did you see, my friend?
You tell Sirgon what you saw from each of the locations you scouted, and he nods agreeably. Aye, it is coming back to me now. Let us see what I can remember. The island chain is a rocky archipelago composed of numerous isles running from northwest to southeast, but 3 of these are larger than the others. The southernmost island is the largest, Zamerzer, and it lies in view of the cape upon which Umbar stands. It is a place of jungle and mountain, and when I served the steward of Gondor in years past, it was the haunt of pirates and freebooters. We left it alone as much as we could, for it was a dangerous place. The middle island is nearest to us, and it is Baghdad. The jagged rocks that surround Baghdad are responsible for the reputation of this place as the bane of sailors, for the dangerous currents surrounding the Shield Isles sweep strong ships and braver men to their dooms. I've lost good friends on these rocks, which the men of Umbar call Shedek's kin. I understand that there may be a settlement somewhere in the center of Baghdad, but I have not seen it. The northern island is uninhabited. I believe it is called Khatel, but the steep cliffs surrounding it make it inaccessible from the coast. This is a place of adventure, Miloa. If we meet the challenge it sets before us, we are certain to survive and see the successful completion of our mission. Oh, here's a wave! Woohoo! Oh, it's cool. Here comes another wave. I love zooming through these waves. This is pretty cool. Okay. In terms of game rendering, this is pretty cool. Okay, enough swimming in the waves.
Our ship was more fortunate than some of the vessels torn apart by the grinding jaws.
Keen-eyed sigileth. See where the hulks lie? Their hulls smashed upon the rocks, their masts ripped away? Did the ship which carried my brother toward Umbar fall prey to a similar fate? Search the wrecks in this lagoon for any sign that the ships of Nakasi Wave Reaper or her ally Tathata succumbed to the rocks of Shedek's kin. I hope and believe they did not, but for Corridon's sake, we must be certain. The stern of this wrecked ship has risen from the water, here for many years. some point during the long years, this wreck fell onto its side. Powerful storms embedded the prow of the boat in the sand. The sailor has been long dead, revealing the wreck to be many years old.
I found a bottle wedged into a crack on the deck of that nearby ship.
The cork still held in place. Inside there is a parchment with writing upon it. Read it and tell me what you think. My dearest Kasha, we are about to be boarded, and the captain says there is little hope the Corsairs will spare us. He intends to fight to the last man, and although I have tried to convince the men to throw down their swords and beg for mercy, I fear he will not change his mind. Know that I go to my death thinking only of you. Farewell, my love. I cannot hope this letter will reach you, but it eases my pain to write this last message. Your Felix.
The sailor who wrote this note may be dead, but my brother lives still.
By our search of these wrecks, we know the ship that carried my brother Coradon to Umbar did not suffer the same fate as they. The sailor who wrote this note, Felix, may be dead, and his love Kasha will never know what evil befell him. But my brother lives. One is beyond our reach, but the other is not. I know the Corsairs of Umbar by their evil reputation, and while the kindred of the coins may bear a different name and pretend to be something else, the manner of their crime seems to me the same. Felix suffered at the hands of Corsairs. Was what happened to my brother at the hands of Nakasi Wave Reaper and her kindred any different? We can do nothing for he who wrote this letter, or for Kasha, who waited in vain for his return. But my brother is not yet beyond saving. There is hope our search for him will continue, and end with success. That is hope enough for me, Miloa. Alright. Here's a pop-up quest. The King of the Sekbiri. A woman in grey cloak wipes her blade against the fur of the slain sekbir. You see, it is one thing to fight a person either on a killing field or in a duel. It is another thing entirely to fight a beast that is twice as large as you, 3 times as heavy, and cares not for how good your form is. You cannot intimidate it with fancy blade work, nor trick it, not unless you possess some sorcery of which I am unaware. A woman in tattered armor and threadbare boots shakes her head. Just me and my blade. No special tricks here. Grey Cloak inclines her head towards a particularly nasty-looking creature. I believe that is the strongest one of them here. Do you think you can take it down? Threadbare Boots grins and slashes through the air a few times, warming up her wrist. After watching you, I think I know just what to do. I'll be back for you, Gimli. Wrap that one up.
have not seen islands like these before.
Gimli and Legolas. They are very different than the lands for which I am familiar. But Durin's am I to believe that the folk who live here are used to the heat and the damp, and would find their lack in the north uncomfortable even as I am accustomed to it? That is a wonder to me. Legolas and I departed the wreck of the Wave Hunter not to see the sights, of course, but to hunt for game animals of the Shield Isles. The elf is still out hunting. He should be back before too long. When we have found enough meat to bring back, we will both return to the ship. Would you like to help us in our hunt? Of course you would.
You did very well, my friend.
I will add the meat you gathered to that which I collected, and when we return the crew will be very pleased. How did Legolas fare in his hunt? He kept his attention upon the trees, seeking for birds to bring down with his bow skill and his fine elf arrows. He will be very embarrassed if we bring back more meat than he does. If that is so, we can say we all shared equally in the task. But you and I will know the truth, Miloa. Gimli's jesting is at an end, Miloa, for I did bring a number of birds to Earth. Once we find where they fell, the dwarf will see that there will be plenty of meat for the crew of the Wave Hunter. Can I ask you to retrieve the birds and the arrows with which I felled them? You will find them along the route I took back here, to the southwest. Each bird took but a single arrow, my friend. My aim remains true, even among the trees of these islands, and from such distance as necessity required I shoot. We will see you back at the Wave Hunter when you have done this. This way. Okay, we're not gonna go straight back to the ship. Let's go find Nauriel. That music was putting me to sleep. I had to change it. Coming through. That was weird.
I could not wait. My son Thorongil is still a captive.
Yeah, but running around crazy without any backup is gonna get you killed. The Knight Nauriel. My son Thorongil is still captive of the kindred of the coins, and I care not the nature of the delay that keeps me from him. I will defy it and see it overcome. Neither storm nor foe will keep me from him. I have learned the name of the settlement. It is Mar Nafra. And from the south, coming from within, it is a place where vile sea brigands gather to fight and drink and gamble. But look at this. It appears it is also a haven for the heirs of Castamere, and those who support them. Just see who has posted a bounty of interest to us outside the village. Heed these words and profit by them. For the capture or death of each of the following leaders of the so-called kindred of the coins, the generous heirs of Castamere offer the following rewards. Azagat the Sea Shadow, 5 chests of gold, Parsi, and 2 of silver gimli. Blunder of the Fleet Fast, 1 chest of gold Farsi and 1 of silver gimli. Harmalek Golden Hand, her weight in silver gimli and multiplied by 500. Know that the capture or death of any others who claim to belong to the kindred of the coins will be rewarded. Speak with Galadaith within Mar Nafra for more information. So it is ordered. Saklafel, wife of Balakor the Scourge, and true ruler of Umbar, Baharbel, and the surrounding lands.
It has been said in the Green Hills that the enemy of one's enemy may be a friend. For a while.
And so it seems it is today. The heirs of Castamere were a dire threat to Gondor, but if the widow of Balakor the Scourge intends to reward mercenaries for slaying the serpents that took my son, I cry do so, and without hesitation. The Shield Isles may teem with bounty hunters now, and their victory may also be ours also. For without these leaders the kindred must fall. Learning the identity of the mercenaries Saklafel has hired for this purpose can only be to our benefit. Are you prepared to make some noise within Mar Nafra, Miloa? If you take on the role of a deadly and dangerous bounty hunter who fears nothing, I believe the one called Galadaith may invite you to speak with Saklafel directly. Go cause some trouble. Let's see what happens. Okay. Lots of quest strings here. Talk to Galadaith from atop tall buildings. Okay.
Unknown caller.
I have not seen you before, stranger. I understand you have a taste for trouble.
From the convention downstairs, I take it you have a taste for trouble. An expensive taste that could be satisfied with gold farsi or silver gimli? Did you see the bounties posted outside the village? If you have a disregard for danger, and some skill in combat as I deem you do, it may be of some interest to you. What do you call yourself? You think it over carefully, and give your answer. The hunter, you say? Well, your name will spread across all of Zerar Tarka if you claim one or more of the bounties. You ask Galadaith if you could speak with the filthy patron who ordered the bounty, so you may ask her who else has already taken on the task, and he shakes his head. The widow Sekbiri sees no one. You do your business with me, friend. But I can tell you that a number of dangerous sorts have already announced their intentions to claim some or all of the bounties. If you are new to the Isles, you may not know them, but their reputations speak for themselves. You would be wise not to delay any longer than you have to, or you will miss your chance. Some of the deadliest bounty hunters in this part of the world seek Sekbiri's reward, and most have reasons of their own to hate the kindred, who rule now in Umbar Barabel. Good luck to you, hunter.
How did you fare within Marnofra?
You tell Nauriel about your meeting with Galadaith and what you learned about the bounties issued by Sekbiri. I would be very interested to learn more about those bounty hunters, for we might make use of them when the time comes to rescue my son from the kindred of the coins. Whether they will provide a distraction only, or can be used to remove some of the pieces from the table entirely, remains to be seen. But it appears we have some new friends to make. Keep your eyes open, and I will see you back at the Wave Hunter when I am finished scouting around here. Okay, well, instead of going back, we've got a series of quests, side quests here apparently to do, so let's go about doing them. And actually, before I do that, it is time for a small break again. I will be right back. let's carry on with the quest here in Baghdad.
Need you something from me?
Lurking in the bogs. You seen them nasty creatures out in the bogs to the north? Filthy, disgusting. Takes away from our most reputable establishment. Wouldn't you agree? I'm looking for strong folks such as you to clear them out. They're getting aggressive, and we can't have them roaming about, causing the most prestigious clientele discomfort. Do what you can, eh? Okay.
What news has come in with the tide?
That ought to raise the reputation of Mar Thafra. The fewer of these filthy creatures roaming about the vicinity, the better. Of course, a reward for honest work.
Spare a moment for me.
Last chance escape. You look different. Not like them. Those filthy scoundrels. I never thought life would be like this. When I first set out for the Isles, I've underestimated just how cruel and rough the life of a pirate is. Your life is constantly at risk, and people walk all over you. But I've a plan. They don't take kindly to deserters, but I have a boat near the western coast. If I could get the necessary supplies to make her seaworthy, I might just be able to be free. Find spare oars, collect pillage rations. get back up? Really? No way. Are they gonna make you go all the way around? That would suck. Let's see. Maybe around this side. There we go. Oh, here's a dock master.
Yahoy!
Alright, we can easily get to Voyage's End now. As opposed to having to hoof it back there. Okay, has he moved? Apparently he has. We gotta go to his ship. Or his boat.
Need you something from me?
You made it, and you have the things. I'll finally be able to go home. I can't thank you enough, stranger. These are dark times indeed, but the light shines forth where it can. This is definitely challenging terrain in that it's not flat.
What news has come in with the tide?
Cask away. Not that it's any of your business, but my wine is gone. All the trouble I've been through just trying to smuggle such acquired delectables to Umbar. I should be paid a king's ransom. You look very capable. If you're looking to make some coin, I'm looking for someone to retrieve what I've lost. Cask away. It's down there to the south. Okay. We need to get out of here. Going up this way. No? Crafting over here. Okay, here's the exit on this side. Eeh. Guess we're swimming again. Gonna have to stop at some point and do some inventory management. Ah, there's a wine cask. Nice. Now I gotta go back. Scholar notes. This island is definitely going to be on my hit list for when I need to come kill the Kurger. What's Elrohir doing here?
My brother and I thought to scout Bakjad and avoid notice, but...
Okay. Doing a side quest to my side quest. Elladan and elrohir. My brother and I thought to scout Bakjad and avoid the attention of the corsair settlement we discovered in the island's interior, but it was not long before we heard the sound of someone calling for help from within the ruin atop this hill. We could not remain idle, Miloa. You understand. We went to investigate and only then discovered that he was clearly a corsair. By most accounting, he is a foe of our mission, but we could not leave him to be devoured by the Kurgrim that threatened him. We saved him and brought him back here. Have we done wrong?
My name is Yahim, and I am not one to refuse aid when it is offered.
You are a friend of these elves? I am not accustomed to speaking with such as they, but I cannot deny that if they had not come along, I would now be dead. My name is Yahim, and I am not one to refuse aid when it is offered. It is true, I am a corsair, and Mar Nafra is my home, but I confess I am currently without a ship. If you hold a grudge against my kind, I understand it, but we are not currently at sea. On land, can we not remain friendly? I appreciate the timely intervention of these elves, and I do not mean to be ungrateful, but when I followed them to safety, I left my sword behind. If you will return to the Kurgrim-infested ruin atop this island and retrieve my sword for me, I will see that you are rewarded. The elves seemed more interested in what I might know than what valuables I might give to them, if you take my meaning. I will tell you what I know about the heirs of Castamere and the kindred of the coins. If you bring my sword to me at my home by the water, on the eastern side of Mar Nafra, unless I have misjudged your intent. That is what you want to know, is it not? If you will do this, can I ask you one more favor? Slay some more of the Kurgrim for me, will you? They are disgusting creatures, spreading filth and disease, and they should not remain among the old ruins. It is not right. Okay, I guess I'm gonna go look for a sword. Okay, I found the sword. Okay, we gotta go back to the town. You know what I just realized? There are no roads here. There are no roads to follow on these islands. Trying not to die from jumping too high. Okay. Wait. He's on the side.
Thank you for returning my sword to me. How would I make my living without it?
Yahim lowers his voice and looks to either side before continuing in a hushed tone. The life of a corsair is not what it once was, I confess it. I blame the heirs of Castamere for that, but when I do I make sure not to do so loudly, or when not in the company of those I know well. I make an exception for you, and for your elf companions, for if you cannot trust those who save your life, who can you trust? I promised you knowledge. Here it is. After the death of Balakor the Scourge in Gondor, his widow Saklafel thought to claim the rule of Umbar, acting as regent through their young son Balagad. But the rioting in the streets and the rise of the kindred of the coins caused her to abandon both that plan and the city. She fled to the Shield Isles, and now lives in exile here in Marnafra. None see her. She issues orders to her servants through Galadaith, her spokesman. Supporters of the heirs of Castamere believe she will organize the remaining Corsairs and attack the city of the kindred who control it. But I have heard there is a reason she cannot. Some say Balakat died during the fighting when the city fell, but others say that the kindred hold him hostage, and Saklafel dares not attack the city for fear he will be slain. Once again, I thank you and those elves for the rescue and for the return of my sword. I hope my information is to help you. I'm gonna make this a milestone.
Speak quickly. I have much to do.
Well, would you look at that? You came through. I promise not to harass upstanding, tight-strapped fellows like yourself from now on. You all can be quite useful.
What news has come in with the tide?
Culling the Grim. We've got a good thing going around us here, and I don't want to screw it up, but these Kurgrim are presenting a huge problem for us and our clientele. If we can't get this population under control, we'll take huge losses. Why don't you make yourself useful and get out there? Fight and take care of the Kurgrim population count. Great, it's back where we were. Trying to find easier paths, and all I'm getting is more and more mountains. guess we're swimming again. Alright, let's go turn this one in. Definitely not using a war steed around here. That's for sure.
Speak quickly, I have much to do.
Next side quest.
Spare a moment for me.
The Orcs of Khatel. Hell, stranger, you're not from around these parts, are you? Have you by chance ventured north to Khatel and encountered orcs? I've heard nothing beyond mere whispers, but it is my duty to find them. Alas, everyone here is rather tight-lipped on the matter. If you manage to locate these orcs, I'll happily pay you for the information. All the way over there. Looks like we've got a Kafagar. Alright. I'll spend a coin to get to Kafagar just so that I do not have to swim all that way.
It is a fine day indeed.
Which means I also now have it, so nice.
Fair winds to you.
Looks like a road. Feel the weight of many eyes scrutinizing your every move. Orcs. Large orcs beckons you over with a grimace.
You are the first outsider who's found their way here, but you better make sure you don't become the last, you hear?
Try anything funny and we'll gift you an arrow to the throat. If you've got important Mar Nafra business, head up the hill and talk to Alda Jagder. She'll sort you out. First orc camp where we didn't really have to paddle. Interesting. With a start, you recognize the orc next to the leader.
Ha! You're the last person I expected to see here!
Don't worry. Zogmak, Lumbak, Musmak, and Sholgolb made it out of Gundabad safely with me. We only just recently arrived ourselves. Some of the folks here weren't too keen on us staying, but we got all that smoothed out and...
Well, stranger, if you are friends with Shukurs, then I can push aside some of my wariness for now.
What brings you to Kafagur? You tell her of the man in Marnafra who sent you to look for the orcs. Judging by his words, he is an outlander like you, far from home and far from his friends. The few in Marnafra who trade with us would never tell him of Kafagur. I shall inform our guards to watch out for this man, in case he harbors ill intentions. As for your intentions, however...
Should you wish to stay in Kafagur, then help my people. Prove to me that you are someone worth trusting.
Aiding Kafagur. Alright, I'm gonna put a pin in this and come do these later. Because I am still busy working through Marnafra. So let's finish up one zone at a time. Let's get back to the boat. It completely turned around. Great. No, no, I'm gonna die. I'd die if I jump down there. Let's not die. Ah, here's the boatmaster. Alright,
Yahoy!
back to Marnafra.
Greetings, kind traveler.
The fabled fortune. A hunter, are you? The woman grins widely, revealing a metallic tooth, the sort who seeks out grave danger in the spirit of adventure. I'd wager you'll want to hear what I have to say then. When you're stuck around Marnafra for as long as I have, you pick up all sorts of interesting stories. One story has fragmented into naught but rumors. A bloodthirsty corsair captain, a cache of buried treasure. Many an ambitious soul has ventured east to bogs in search of this treasure. Whether they've been successful, I cannot say. I know. Perhaps the treasure does not exist at all. I've taken up enough of your time. Watch yourself, traveler. Not everyone here is as friendly as I. Okay. We go swimming. This is starting to feel like evendom with all the swimming that's having to happen to get to places. It's rather annoying. So it says that I'm supposed to be on top of it. Alright, here we go. Sand mound. Digging! An unnatural Chosetson. Ooh. The amount of coins in the chest barely comes close to what you were expecting, or rather hoping for. What truly catches your attention, however, is the preserved skull that sits among the coins. It greets you with an eternal, lipless smile. Hidden among the shiny coins is a metallic tooth, one that looks eerily similar to Cuthred Glintlegrin's. Alright, back we go. Yeah, I could probably have run around, but this feels like the shortest route. Most direct route. Try as you might, you cannot find Cuthred anywhere. Cuthred Glintlegrin seems to have vanished from Marnufra. You may have your suspicions about what you discovered, but it seems your questions will never be put to rest.
Might you spare a moment?
Okay guys, I gotta break and go make dinner for the family. I will catch y'all later. Good night.